I believe that every American should have stable, dignified housing, health care, education, that the most very basic needs to sustain modern life should be guaranteed in a moral society. The biggest hurdle that our communities have is cynicism, saying it's a done deal, who cares, there's no point to voting. If we can get somebody to care, it's a huge victory for the movement and the causes we're trying to advance. Mentors of mine were under a big pressure to minimize their femininity to make it. I'm not going to do that. That takes away my power. I'm not going to compromise who I am. I just hope that more people will ignore the fatalism of the argument that we are beyond repair. We are not beyond repair. We are never beyond repair. My mother cleaned homes and drove school buses, and when my family was on the brink of foreclosure, I started bartending and waitressing. The only time we create any kind of substantive change is when we reach out to a disaffected electorate and inspire and motivate them to vote. Working class Americans want a clear champion, and there is nothing radical about moral clarity in 2018. In Puerto Rico, we continue to see the perpetuation of second-class citizenship in the United States. The way the Queen's Democratic Party machine has worked, they operate on a politics of exclusion. Democrats should be getting high fives from sanitation truck drivers, that is what should be happening in America. I see people like me, who thought someone like me couldn't be in politics, now are saying, oh, wait, I don't need to take money from corporations to run. Maybe I'll run, too. I'm not running from the left, I'm running from the bottom. I'm running in fierce advocacy for working class New Yorkers. Democrats are a big tent party. You know, I'm not trying to impose an ideology on all, several hundred members of Congress. What the Bronx and Queens needs is Medicare for all, tuition-free public college, a federal jobs guarantee, and criminal justice reform. We have to stick to the message, what are we proposing to the American people? Not, what are we fighting against? I felt like the only way to effectively run for office is if you had access to a lot of wealth, high social influence, a lot of dynastic power, and I knew that I didn't have any of those things. We have a political culture of intimidation, of favoring, of patronage, and of fear, and that is no way for a community to be governed. It's really scary, or it's easy to generate fear around an idea or around an ism when you don't provide any substance to it. I was born to a dad who was born in the South Bronx while the Bronx was burning, while landlords were committing arson to their own buildings. It's not just that I'm a woman of color running for office. It's the way that I ran. It's the way that my identity formed my methods. When people feel like they are being spoken directly to, I do feel like they'll do things like turn out in an off-year, mid-year primary. What we need to do is lay out a plan and a vision that people can believe in. And getting into Twitter fights with the president is not exactly where we're going to find progress as a nation. For me, democratic socialism is about, really, the value for me is that I believe that in a modern, moral, and wealthy society, no person in America should be too poor to live. I do think that we have to have a secure border. We need to make sure that people are, in fact, documented. But that doesn't mean that we threaten people's lives.